Hey there, hoop fans. It's Kokan, your go-to guru for all things roundball, fondly known to the community as Tips and Streams. We're not just dribbling around here. We're talking serious plays and epic showdowns. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of the NBA, breaking down some of the most anticipated matchups that are about to set the court on fire. But wait, before we jump into the action, do me a favor. Slam dunk that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Why? Because you don't want to miss out on our expert analysis, predictions, and those secret top picks that might just give you bragging rights among your friends. All right, fellow ballers, let's lace up and dive in. The first today's prediction is for the matchup between Toronto Raptors and Philadelphia 76ers. Tonight, the hardwood of the Wells Fargo Center becomes the battleground as the sizzling Philadelphia 76ers clash with the beleaguered Toronto Raptors. The Sixers, boasting a formidable 19-8 record, are tearing up the court, snagging victories in 7 of their last 8 showdowns. Their latest triumph, a masterful domination of the Timberwolves, was fueled by Joel Embiid's jaw-dropping 51-point extravaganza. The Sixers' scoring blitz, spearheaded by the dynamic duo of Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, has been the cornerstone of their impressive run. Conversely, the Raptors are scrabbling to regain their mojo, stepping into the fray with a lackluster 11-16 slate. Their recent stretch is cause for alarm, with defeats in 6 out of their last 8 contests, highlighted by a tough loss to the Nuggets despite Scotty Barnes's valiant 30-point, 10-rebound effort. The Raptors' offense has been middling, notching 112.2 points per game, but their leaky defense conceding 114. 1 points on average has been their Achilles heel. Tonight's showdown is pivotal, with the Raptors desperate for a resurgence and the Sixers eager to keep their victory train rolling. Historically, the Sixers have had the upper hand, triumphing in both of this season's prior face-offs. The Raptors, despite being at full strength, confront a formidable challenge against a Sixers squad fueled by Embiid's stellar form and Maxey's unwavering support. From a betting perspective, while the odds tilt in favor of the Sixers, the Raptors could be a stealthy pick, particularly with the point spread in mind. Yet, Philadelphia's blistering form and home turf advantage position them as the likely victors. Anticipate a high-octane, score-heavy game with the spotlight on marquee players like Embiid and Siakam. My forecast tilts towards a Philadelphia 76ers triumph, though the spread is a tight call. The Raptors, with a recent knack for upping their game in Philly, might just bring an unexpected intensity to this duel. Predicting the outcome is tricky, but expect a rapid, score-rich clash. If I were to wager, I'd back a total score surpassing 228 points. The next prediction is for the match between the Denver Nuggets and Brooklyn Nets. We're gearing up for a showdown at the Barclays Center, where the Brooklyn Nets, hovering at a 13-14 slate, are set to duke it out with the Denver Nuggets, sporting a more impressive 19-10 record. When we break down the recent plays, the Nuggets bagged a victory over the Raptors, nailing their shots with a smooth 50% from the field, including some serious heat from downtown. Nikola Jokic was the star player, racking up a hefty 31 points, grabbing 15 boards, and dishing out 6 assists. They're averaging a hefty 115.2 points per game, while on the defensive end, they're containing teams to 110.3 points. The Nets, meanwhile, took a hit from the Knicks. Their shooting was off the mark, landing only 36.6% from the field, but they hustled hard on the glass with a total of 49 rebounds. Despite the stumble in their last outing, key players like Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges are expected to step up and contribute significantly in scoring, rebounding, and assists. Peering into the crucial stats of field goal and three-point percentages, plus rebounding, the Nuggets have the upper hand with their sharper shooting, especially with a 49% field goal rate against the Nets' 46.93%. They're also tops in dishing assists, a testament to their slick ball movement. Defensively, they've got some room for improvement, sitting 18th in the league in conceding assists. Revisiting their last 5 face-offs at Barclays Center, the Nuggets clinched 2, beating the spread in those games. In their most recent matchups, they've maintained steady form, clinching both. Yet, it's wise to factor in the Nets' home court advantage. Injury-wise, the Nuggets are at full strength. The Nets have Dennis Smith Jr. on the questionable list, with Ben Simmons and Lonnie Walker out of action. Wrapping it up, considering the stats, recent plays, and their past clashes at the Barclays, I'm banking on a high-octane match. The total points have surpassed the line in 6 of Brooklyn's last 8 home games against Denver. The Nets, 18th in pace, are likely to amp up the tempo, seeking quick scores against a solid Nuggets squad. I'm leaning towards a Denver Nuggets win here. Their team efficiency, particularly in shooting and assists, stands out. While the Nets have their home turf edge, the Nuggets' current form and stats tip the scales in their favor. Still, the Nets are sure to make this a nail-biter right to the last buzzer. My money is on the Nuggets to snatch the win, but the Nets should cover the 5-point spread. Who does not believe that the Nets can cover the spread against the Nuggets can bet on Denver and Brooklyn, over 230. The next prediction is for the match between Atlanta Hawks and Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, ready to scorch the court in this Southeast Division showdown, step onto their home turf as the slight favorites. With the point spread set at Miami minus 1.5, it's clear we're in for a nail-biter. The Heat's season stats are turning heads, especially their knack for beating the spread in 12 out of 28 games. Their ironclad defense, a real game-changer, might just be the X factor in this clash. Plus, their strategy of slowing down the game, ranked 27th in the league, could be the perfect play to put the brakes on the Hawks' rapid-fire offense, sitting pretty at 5th in the league. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Hawks, sporting a 12-15 record, are all about racking up the scoreboard, averaging a hefty 123.1 points per game. That puts them among the league's offensive juggernauts. But there's trouble in paradise with their leaky defense, one of the league's most generous in points allowed. This Achilles heel might just be their downfall, especially facing a Heat team that's been cranking up their scoring to an impressive 117.0 points per game in recent games. Looking back at their recent face-offs, the Heat have had the upper hand, snagging a 117-109 victory last time. The historical edge, current form, and team health all hint that Miami might just have the Hawks' number this time around. Atlanta's high-octane offense might not cut it against Miami's strategic mastery and defensive stronghold. Injury updates are crucial here. The Heat might be missing heavy hitters like Jimmy Butler and Kevin Love, a potential kink in their game plan, but the return of Harrow and Adebayo could level the playing field. The Hawks, nursing their own wounds, will need stars like Trae Young and Bogdan Bogdanovic to step up big time. When you crunch the numbers, Miami's defensive edge and tempo control, mixed with the Hawks' defensive woes, point to a Miami Heat triumph. Expect them to beat the spread, leveraging their home court and strategic edge. In closing, while I'd normally put my money on the Miami Heat, given their form, strategy, and home advantage, the tight 1.5-point spread has me second-guessing. I'll hold off on picking a winner, but bet on Tyler Harrow dropping over 24 points, especially with Jimmy Butler out. Remember, this is just my take. Don't let my betting tips sway your judgment. I lay out my reasoning and predictions, but always trust your own gut when it comes to your bets. The next prediction is for the match between Dallas Mavericks and Houston Rockets. In the realm of hoops, the Mavericks, despite some recent hiccups, have been flexing their muscles on foreign courts, bagging 3 wins in their last 4 away showdowns. This grit might just be their ace in the hole tonight. With a scoreboard that often reads 119 points, thanks to a shooting accuracy of 47.1%, their offensive game is nothing short of stellar. Yet, they've also shown a streak of unpredictability, dropping 3 out of their last 4 matches. On the flip side, the Rockets are hustling to snap a 3-game slump. They've been kings of their court at the Toyota Center, notching 11 victories in 13 games. This home turf stronghold could be a game-changer. Averaging 111.4 points per game, they might trail the Mavericks in firepower, but they're still a force to be reckoned with. Moreover, they outshine the Mavericks in beating the spread, boasting a record of 15-8-2 against the Mavericks 14-13-0. In the betting arena, the Rockets are the hot picks, favored by 8.5 points with an over-under of 228, hinting at a high-octane scoring affair. Injury updates are crucial. The Mavericks are hitting the court minus key players like Derek Lively, Dante Exum, Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, Josh Green, and Kyrie Irving, while Seth Curry's participation hangs by a thread. This could dent their scoring rhythm. The Rockets, in contrast, are all clear on the injury front. Historically, the Mavericks have outperformed the Rockets in recent clashes, securing 8 wins in their last 10 encounters. However, their prowess in covering the spread dims in Houston, achieving it in just 2 of the last 5 games. Weighing the current dynamics, home advantage, and injury reports, the scales tip towards the Rockets. They're poised to leverage their home strength and exploit the Mavericks' key player gaps. But the spread seems to tilt overly in favor of the Rockets, especially considering the Mavericks' away game tenacity and their track record in this rivalry. To wrap it up, I see the Rockets clinching the win, but the Mavericks likely keeping it within the plus 9-point spread. This hunch aligns with betting patterns and the recent form of both squads. My bets on the Dallas Mavericks with a plus 9. The next prediction is for the match between Washington Wizards and Golden State Warriors. Tonight's matchup is a high-voltage clash on the hardwood, featuring the Washington Wizards squaring off against the Golden State Warriors. It's a classic battle of the coasts, East versus West, on the court. Fresh off a thrilling edge-of-your-seat win over the Trail Blazers in Portland, the Wizards are now tackling the tough grind of back-to-back games. Traditionally, this hasn't been their strong point. In their last 3 consecutive games this season, they've come up short, dropping each game by an average of 14 points. Despite putting up a solid 115 points on average in these matchups, the strain of back-to-back play, coupled with travel, could weigh heavily on their game tonight. The Golden State Warriors, meanwhile, are coming in with a mixed bag in their recent matchups. Their season tally stands at 13 victories against 14 defeats. They found slightly firmer footing on their home turf, boasting a 7-6 record in their own arena. This home court edge could play a pivotal role in tonight's face-off. Both squads bring their distinct flair and strategies to the game. The Warriors, with their kinetic style and high-scoring antics, are likely to use their home turf to their advantage, aiming to exploit the Wizards' likely weariness from their recent tight schedule. The Wizards, on their part, need to summon extra strength and resilience to hurdle the physical and mental demands of consecutive play. Considering the current form, home advantage, and the Wizards' track record in back-to-back games, the scales tip in favor of a Golden State Warriors triumph. Their superior stats in field goals, three-pointers, and rebounds, particularly on home ground, set them up as tonight's favorites. For the Wizards, the game plan should be to keep up their scoring consistency and try to outmaneuver the Warriors' stronghold at home. The Warriors, with their mix of savvy and finesse, especially in their domain, seem primed for victory. So, I'm placing my chips on the Golden State Warriors to take the win and beat the 12-point spread. This forecast draws from an analysis of both teams' current season run, historical performances, and specific factors of this game. The Wizards' recent triumph over the Trail Blazers and the Warriors' overall solid home games are key influences in this projection. But, as always in the unpredictable world of NBA hoops, expect the unexpected. The last prediction for today is for the matchup between Phoenix Suns and Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings, boasting a solid 16-10 slate and a noteworthy 10-4 in their own backyard, just battled it out with the Boston Celtics. Their offense is jamming, putting up a hefty 118.2 points a night. The Kings are lighting it up from downtown, sinking 15. 7 bombs per game, ranking them second in the league, and racking up an even more impressive 123.6 points at home. But their D is a bit shaky, letting through 118.2 points on average. Lately, they've been dropping the ball defensively, giving up 122.0 points in their last 10 games, which overshoots their season norm. On the flip side, the Phoenix Suns, holding a 14-13 record and a decent 7-5 on foreign courts, are bouncing back from a setback against the Portland Trail Blazers. The Suns are clocking in at 114.9 points per game, 15th in the league, with a solid field goal percentage of 47.2%. Kevin Durant is on a hot streak, really boosting the team's recent efforts. However, the Suns are struggling to lock it down on defense, conceding 113.8 points per game. Their game plan against the Kings might hinge on cranking up the defensive heat and causing turnovers. The Suns' injury report throws a wrench into their game plan. Bradley Beal is benched, while Jusuf Nurkic's play is up in the air, which could twist their strategy. Yet, this opens doors for other players to rise to the occasion. In past showdowns and recent games at the Golden One Center, the away team usually has the upper hand. Phoenix nailed 3 out of their last 4 in Sacramento and beat the spread twice. Weighing both squads' latest form and the injury impact, the Kings seem to have a slight upper hand with their offensive firepower. The Suns will probably aim to exploit the Kings' defensive gaps, while keeping their own defense tight. A key element is how the Suns handle the Heat. Despite mixed results this season, they've shown grit, especially in tough spots. Keeping their cool and executing when it counts will be vital, especially against the Kings' high-octane home game. Wrapping it up, looking at stats, recent forms, injury updates, and past face-offs, it looks like the Phoenix Suns might beat the spread. Their clutch performance, combined with the Kings' wobbly defense, could tip the scales in a tight match. I'm betting on the Suns to beat the +4 point, with the total score staying under 245.5. All right, hoopheads, that's the buzzer for today's predictions. Big thanks for rolling with us. If you're vibing with our picks, slam that subscribe button and get on board. Catch you on the court tomorrow. Peace.